Hello everyone, Earned the Worm here, and today I received something in the mail that I am extremely excited to review. It is an Iron Man figure from a pretty new company. I think they've only been in business since about 2010, and I discovered this on eBay. I did give $55 for it, and it is from Art Spirits is the company name, and then it's their Active Gear collection. And you can see here is the name of their company. If you Google it, if you try to YouTube reviews of this particular Iron Man, you'll come up with one YouTube review and a couple like blog reviews, but you really can't find much on them, which is really a shame because this figure is just immaculate. The packaging is really nice. It actually says Marvel Studios Iron Man, the Armored Avenger. You can see here it says 2012. And there is a nice picture on the side. A couple nice pictures on the back. And you can see all the writing is like Chinese characters. And it's the Mark V. The Mark V did have a very short-lived moment in the movies. But it is one of my favorite armors, just because I like all the little single plates on it, and I like the silver and red combo. So I'm going to get this out of packaging now, and we will have a closer look at it. Okay, so now I have the figure out of packaging, and we'll look at the accessories he came with first. And he did come with a suitcase, and this is what the armor actually is. So it almost don't make sense that he comes with this. He even comes with a gripping hand to hold the suitcase, but he is the suitcase. But that being said, this is really cool to have sitting on the shelf, you know, even though it don't really make sense to have it. It's really cool to have it. And coolness trumps not making sense. Okay, and then you get two extra sets of hands. You have a gripping hand. And what I really like about these extra hands is that this flap on it actually articulates so you can get some good poses out of it. See, it'll actually pull up and down. And you get an open palm like a repulsor blast hand. And another really cool thing about this is, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell really, but in the palms of the hands there's actually like a little plate of clear plastic, which really gives it a great repulsor hand look. Because some of the other figures I've seen, it's pretty much a white dot painted in the palm of the hand, but not on these. It is actually a clear plate of plastic. Okay, now on to the figure itself. The figure is just so nice, such good articulation of things, but I do have a couple small complaints. But my complaints would not be enough for anyone to not pick this figure up at $55 to $65. I've seen some sellers selling it pretty high, up into like $150, which, you know, is too much really. You could get a Hot Toys figure for that, but I mean, this is almost comparable to a Hot Toys. To me, it's kind of like in between a Marvel Select, a Revoltech, or a Hot Toys. You know, it's kind of a mixture of all those. But my complaints is that I feel like the legs and body are a little out of scale. I feel like those legs are a little too long and that body is a little too long. But even with that, it's just such a nice figure, such nice detail on all those little single plates. It really gives the feel of the Mark V with all these single little connecting plates. I love these little details on the insides of the legs, of these little metal straps. Up the spine is really nice. And then all these little details in the back. Just even close up, I mean, it's just such an immaculate figure. Look at all these little connections here and all the little rivets and just all those little details. The only problem I found in the paint is one single little scuff right there at my fingertip. You can see a little silver spot, just a little tiny chip, and that's it. That's all I found. And one really cool feature of this Iron Man, and this is the only Iron Man figure that I have with this feature anywhere on it, And you usually only see this feature with some of the higher end, more expensive collectibles, which to me this is a high end collectible, it's just not real expensive. You can actually pop off this chest plate here, pops off very easily, and it has a small switch in there, and it actually has a light inside. And then you just pop his chest plate back on very easily, and then you have a lit up chest repulsor. Very, very cool feature. And I know sitting on this shelf I'll probably leave that off. I'll probably actually take the batteries out so they don't corrode. I just think that's so cool that you have the option. And now I'm going to go over the articulation, because as far as articulation goes on this figure, it is just completely incredible. His head is on a ball joint, but he has another ball joint at the bottom of his neck, so you can really get some good movement out of it, because his, you can get his neck to go all the way around and his head. So you get good movement with that double ball jointed neck in there. And then his arms, you can get 360 degrees out of them. They do have these shoulder pads on it, but those shoulder pads are just kind of free floating in there, so they move with the arm, which is really nice, because that way they just absolutely do not hinder any articulation. And then you do get a upper bicep swivel, and then these double bends at the elbows and the same at the knees is just unlike anything I've ever seen in my life, and I'd love to see more of it. You get just a really cool double bend at the elbow, and it just kind of clicks out, and the paint and everything still throughout underneath is really good. So you just get a really good bend in there. I mean, some figures you're lucky to get 90 degrees on the elbow. Look at that, he can almost touch his shoulder. So that is just incredible. And ab crunch, you get a really good ab crunch. You can move all the way around here, you can twist all the way around. And then here at the waist, he actually swivels, and he's on a ball joint, so he can rock and swivel both. I mean, my gosh, the articulation they put into this is just really, it's second to none. And then the top of his legs, he can go out that much. Then he can go forward a good bit, and even back some. And again, this double bend at this knee is just unlike anything I've seen. It looks like there's like 4 or 5 different pieces in motion and work there when you move it. Then it kind of clicks back, but I'm going to do it slow, and you can see kind of all the pieces moving there. See, you have these separate, and then you have that piece inside the knee there, and then this one, and it's just, I mean, it's just incredible. I would love to see more of that on more figures. One other complaint I have is he actually does not have a pivot on the ankle. He has a good disc on the ankle to go up and down. He even has toe articulation, but no rocker on that ankle, and that missing that ankle rocker is really going to hurt in some poses where you're going to want his legs widespread, and instead of being on his foot, it's actually going to be up on the side of his foot where it's missing that ankle rocker. But again, that's a small complaint. I mean, this figure, I mean, just look at it. The face sculpt and helmet on this is just great. I just love all the line work in this figure, and the black wash down in these little creases to kind of give shadowing effect really makes all those details pop. I'm so pleased with it, and I have a lot of cool Iron Man figures, and I know I say this with every new one I get, but this is my new favorite. Okay, and just as a scale comparison, I'm going to bring in the Mark 42 that I purchased, and this is a knockoff Marvel Select, but it is the same mold as their Marvel Selects, and you can see that I have the feet even. The Art Spirit one comes in just a little taller, probably about a ½ an inch taller. So it probably actually stands at about 8 inches. So posed right, it would fit in with your Marvel Selects, but it's going to be a little bit bigger. But it's going to tower over like Legends and Revoltech. So now I'm going to actually try and get some poses out of him. So that's all the poses I'm going to do for now with him. Even as I was doing those poses, I was just even more impressed with his figure. I kept finding more points of articulation. Like right above the boot, there's actually 2 plates that fold up on the front and back. The shoulder just has tons of articulation. It'd be hard to even pinpoint it all. Just an incredible figure. I highly recommend it. And it is the Art Spirits Mark V. You could probably find it on eBay if you wanted to pick it up. But yeah, just a highly, highly recommended figure from me, if that means anything to anybody. I mean, I did buy like 4 knockoffs, so that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the videos. And thank you guys so much. Bye.